guys, welcome back to the channel, or if you're new here, welcome officially to the channel. This is a series where we would look at various different oddities in gaming that developers have either made to help the player get more into the game, visually or physically. Most have influences in games and designs years past when they were active, and today, well, I don't know. You could say it influenced things moving forward, and then again, maybe it didn't, because today we're looking at batterup. It's always rather funny to find out how long and how often the industry has actually been trying to sell us plastic attachments to our controllers in order to make them more interactive. The 90s were no exception to this, and while we love to blame Nintendo for selling us cheap plastic junk to put our controllers in, which they did, let's be fair, along with cardboard, but that's another story. Don't rush me. Here is yet another example of this type of controller intended to make the player feel like they were more in the action using an inexpensive piece of plastic, and one I remember seeing as a kid. This was the batterup by Sports Sciences. Now what this was essentially a plastic baseball bat controller with foam around the main part of the bat. I would assume the foam was intended so that if you swung it too hard it wouldn't actually hurt someone if it hit them if it's off in the blow. Or, you know, if you're me, encourage you to hit your friends with it. I mean, it's a Nerf bat, come on, what else do you expect me to do with it? As you would assume, this was meant to work with baseball games. And, I mean, it's a baseball bat. What else were you going to use it for? I know what you're thinking. How did this thing work when the Genesis and Super Nintendo didn't even have motion controls? Yes, this thing actually came out on both platforms. Well, the basic hookup was pretty simple. You simply hook it up to the console. It didn't really draw any more power than any other controller on the market, making connection pretty simple. It also had a full D-pad and full complement of buttons on it to help you navigate through the game menus and choose various different options. Where it became unique, however, is when you start looking at the small dip switches on the controller. These were how you mapped the controller to the particular game you were playing. Once these were set, they would take the place of the button you used to swing the bat. Now here's where I start to theorize a bit for lack of information on any technical details to explain how swinging this thing activated a button. I assume, and I stress assume, that there was some form of accelerator that when swung with enough force would cause the batter on the screen to swing the bat. From the videos I've seen, the force is kind of extreme in some cases to actually activate the button. To put it simply, the technology, while likely around, wasn't affordable enough at the time to put into a controller with such a limited functionality so that it would really work properly. Or to today, and we have a number of controllers that do this same functionality, but far better than this early attempt. The technology has gotten cheaper and more reliable, making the kind of controller like the batterup more of a fun novelty than something you would legitimately use on a console today. It's just another in a long growing list of ones on my channel where attempts at gaining the public's interest were used as a stepping stone towards something not only more reliable, but more intuitive and fun to use as well. It also makes you think that with VR and motion controls moving forward the way they are, if baseball games will ever take another swing, all puns intended, at motion controls in their games. Because while I'm not keen on running bases for 9 innings around the bases myself, batting could be more fun with a bit of motion control, even if it's just a home run challenge mode outside the main game. However, that's enough of me. What do you guys think? Would you like to see another attempt at motion controls in baseball? Would you like to see another controller like this one? Did you ever own one of these, and if so, how often do you use it? Let me know in the comments. As always, thank you for spending part of your day with me, and if you would, do me one more small favor. If you haven't, please like the video. It actually really helps me out. And if you haven't, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way you don't miss any content like this. I upload an average of 2 to 3 times a week, so if you enjoyed this, you're likely going to enjoy most of the channel. However, that's enough of me asking for favors. Thank you once again, and until next time, happy gaming.